Good evening, and I welcome you to the final 2020 presidential debate between President Donald J. Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden. So with that, if you're ready, let's start.
It will go away, and as I say, we're rounding the turn, we're rounding the corner. It's going away.
President Biden, to you, how would you lead the country out of this crisis?
If you hear nothing else I say tonight, hear this. Anyone who's responsible for not taking control, in fact, not saying I take no responsibility initially. Anyone who's responsible for that many deaths should not remain as President of the United States of America. Compared to what's going on in Europe, starting from a very low rate, we're starting from a very high rate. If we just wore these masks, the President's own advisors have told him, we could save lives. And we're in a circumstance where the President thus far and still has no plan.
No, I think my timeline is going to be more accurate. I don't know that they're counting on the military the way I do, but we have our generals lined up, one in particular, that's the head of logistics. He's ready to go as soon as we have the vaccine, and we expect to have 100 million vials. As soon as we have the vaccine, he's ready to go. And this is a very easy distribution for him.
We're learning to live with it. You folks home, that man or wife going to bed tonight, learning to live with it. Come on.
When I closed, he said I shouldn't have closed. And that went on for months. Nancy Pelosi said the same thing. But when I closed, he said, this is a terrible thing, you're xenophobic. I think he called me racist even. And because I was closing it, now he says I should have closed it earlier.
What I would say is I'm going to shut down the virus, not the country. It's his ineptitude that caused the country to have to shut down in large part. Why businesses have gone under.
All he talks about is shutdowns. No, we're not going to shut down. And it's like, as an example, I have a young son. He also tested positive. By the time I spoke to the doctor the second time, he was fine. It just went away. Young people.
You need to be able to trace. You need to be able to provide all the resources that are needed to do this. And that is not inconsistent. By the way, all you teachers out there, not that many of you are going to die, so don't worry about it. Come on.
If you go and look at what's happened to New York, it's a ghost town. It's a ghost town.
I made it clear that any country, no matter who it is, that interferes in American elections will pay a price. This election, I won't even get into the last one, that Russia has been involved, China has been, now we learned that Iran is involved. They will pay a price. They will pay a price if I'm elected. That's what's going on right now. They're interfering with American sovereignty. And to the best of my knowledge, I don't think the president said anything to Putin about it. They're interfering with American sovereignty. I don't think he's talking to them a lot. I don't think he said a word. I don't know why he hadn't said a word.
There has been nobody tougher on Russia than Donald Trump. I sold, while he was selling pillows and sheets, I sold tank busters to Ukraine. That's to guard against Russia. And I'll tell you, they were so bad.
They do know is you're not paying your taxes, or you're paying taxes that are so low.
I have paid millions and millions of dollars, and it's worse than paying. I paid in advance. It's called prepaying your taxes.
Why did he's been saying this for 4 years? Show us. When last time he said what he paid, he said, I only pay that little because I'm smart. I know how to game the system.
Individual mandate where you have to pay a fortune for the privilege of not having to pay for bad health insurance. I terminated. It's gone. Now it's in court because Obamacare is no good. But then I made a decision, run it as well as you can to my people, great people. Run it as well as you can. I could have gone the other route and made everybody very unhappy. They ran it. Premiums are down.
Public option is an option that says that if you, in fact, do not have the wherewithal if you qualify for Medicaid and you do not have the wherewithal in your state to get Medicaid, you automatically are enrolled. Secondly, we're going to make sure we reduce the premiums and reduce drug prices by making sure that there's competition that doesn't exist now by allowing the Medicare to negotiate drug prices with the insurance companies, providing competition for insurance companies.
One of the reasons I think we're going to take over the House because of her. Nancy Pelosi doesn't want to approve anything because Nancy Pelosi does not want to approve it. We are ready, willing, and able to do something. Don't forget, we've already approved 3 plans, and it's gone through.
Can't pass it. He will not be able to pass it. He does not have Republican votes. Why isn't he talking to his Republican friends?
Shows that he has no understanding of immigration or the laws. Catch and release is a disaster. A very bad person would come in. We would take their name. We have to release them into our country. Less than 1% of the people come back. And then you say they come back. We have to send ICE out and Border Patrol out to find them. We would say, come back in 2 years, 3 years, we're going to give you a court case. When you say they come back, they don't come back, Joe.
To know the law, what he's telling you is simply not true.
Well, check it out. They don't come back.
Check it out.
So we have the Trillion Trees program. We have so many different programs. I do love the environment, but what I want is the cleanest, crystal clear water, the cleanest air. We have the best, lowest number in carbon emissions, which is a big standard that I notice Obama goes with all the time. Not Joe. I haven't heard Joe use the term because I'm not sure he knows what it represents or means, but I have heard Obama use it.
My plan is going to create millions of jobs, and it's going to clean the environment. Our health and our jobs are at stake. That's what's happening. And what right now, by the way, Wall Street firms indicated that my plan will, in fact, create 18.6 million jobs, 7 million more than his. This is from Wall Street. And I'll create $1 trillion more in economic growth than his proposal does.
The families that we're talking about are employed heavily, and they're making a lot of money, more money than they've ever made. If you look at the kind of numbers that we produce for Hispanic, for Black, for Asian, economic, more money than they've ever made. It's 9 times greater, the percentage gain, than it was under, in 3 years, than it was under 8 years of the 2 of them, to put it nicely. But they're making a tremendous amount of money.
That those people live on what they call fence lines. He doesn't understand this. I used to live near that when I was growing up in Claymont, Delaware. That those people live on what they call fence lines. He doesn't understand this. You impose restrictions on the pollutions, the pollutants coming out of those fence line communities.
Close down the
By
oil
the way, I
industry?
would transition from the oil industry, yes.
Oh,
I will
that's
transition.
a big statement.
It is a big statement.
That's a country totally successful as it was prior to the plague coming in. Now we're rebuilding it, and we're doing record numbers in a short period of time, etc. I was getting calls from people that were not normally people that would call me. They wanted to get together. We had the best unemployment numbers in the history of our country. Hispanic, women, Asian, Black. Yes, everybody had the best numbers. They wanted to unify. Success is going to bring us together. We are on the road to success.
I'm an American president. I represent all of you, whether you voted for me or against me. We're going to choose to move forward because we have enormous opportunities to make things better. I'm going to give you hope. We're going to move. We're going to choose science over fiction. We're going to choose hope over fear. And at the same time, we can make sure that our economy is being run and moved and motivated by clean energy, creating millions of new jobs. That's what we're going to do. What is on the ballot here is the character of this country.
I want to thank you both for a very robust, fantastic debate. President Trump, former Vice President Joe Biden, thank you.